Welcome everyone to the first and only sports gambling game show in the world. Let it ride. I'm your host, Sean Stacking the Money Green, and I'll be your referee for this heavyweight battle of degenerates. Two admitted sports addicts will be going head to head in a contest of brains, brawns, and badassery, or at least one of those three. Let's welcome our reigning DGenpian. He's a two-time winner of Let It Ride and a full-time winner of the mustache contest. Although I see you're kind of blending in the beard, John.
Yeah, it's just haven't shaven in a while. I got to carve up a fresh stash.
He's also the DFS flowchart guru, decimated the GPP competitors. Give it up for the commander of contrarians, the admiral of analytics, the brigadier of backdoor covers, His Excellency Jon Jackson. John, you're trying to become the first contestant to win 3 in a row. If you're handicapping yourself, what are the odds?
I mean, I'm feeling pretty confident. I'm going to say I'm a minus 200 favorite.
Oh, wow. Okay. Minus 200. That is, he's setting himself a nice favorite. Doesn't want to go 250, 300, minus 1,000. Time to bring on the underdog, who John is pricing, I'm guessing, as plus 150. He's a rookie to the SGPN crew, but a veteran of Fantasy Pros, Action Network, and the Stretch 4 NBA Fantasy Podcast. Give it up for the Oracle from Oakland, the prognosticator of player props, the sleep deprived sharp, Dan Titus. Dan, you're a fellow Philadelphia Eagles fan, a Virginia Tech graduate. I can confirm that has nothing to do with you joining the podcast network. You're also a new father now. Being an Eagles fan, I assume you named your son after a great Philadelphia Eagle like Reggie White. What'd you go with name wise?
Oh man, got me there. So my son's name is Zeke, but it's not Ezekiel. It's Zeke.
Okay.
We're one up in this one.
All right. Finally, a Zeke I can root for. I'm not going to, I'm going to be rooting for one Zeke this season, your son. Although Randall Titus sounds pretty good. I'll just leave that one there.
Randall definitely would have been a tight one. Maybe for number 2.
All right. Quick review of how the game works in round 1. I test their sports gambling knowledge with trivia questions. Round 2, we look at how many units each contestant won with last week's Lock Dog tease. And in the final round, they'll give the best bets for the upcoming days. Whoever has more units come Monday wins, and we'll return next week to round 1. Questions are worth 10 units. John, you're the favorite, so you go first. This category is predictably average. Which of last year's all defensive team players won gamblers the most money on player props because of his very predictable game to game performances, according to DraftKings Sportsbook? Is it A, Eric Bledsoe, B, Patrick Beverley, C, Ben Simmons, D, Anthony Davis? Who won gamblers the most money when it came to player props because of his very predictable performances?
This is a tough one. I feel like AD maybe consistently on the rebounds. Simmons maybe more consistent across the board. I don't really think Bledsoe's a good defender. I'll go Simmons.
Oh, incorrect. Although if they were offering, will he take a 3-pointer? That would have been easy money, and he would have been the most profitable player prop. That was off the board. Unfortunately, it was Patrick Beverley. The other top 5 were Marcus Smart, Steven Adams, Jay Crowder, and Rui Hachimura. So yeah, I guess apparently it pays to be very mediocre on offense, very predictable. Dan, you're up. Your category is take the good with the bad. Which player averages more assists and turnovers per game than any other point guard this season? Is it A, Russell Westbrook, B, Trae Young, C, Kemba Walker, or D, Luka? Who has the most assists and turnovers per game this year for a point guard?
Man, the gut tells me Russ. I could also see Luka hasn't really been living up to the MVP performance, but man, I'm going to go with Trae Young.
Oh, Dan, you got to trust your gut, man. As a gut handicapper, your gut was leading you the right way. Russell Westbrook, who I've now dubbed the Jameis Winston of basketball, help a player score on both ends of the court. John, you're up. Your category is looking ahead. We don't know who their opponent will be yet, but history says you'll want to bet on the Tampa Bay Bucks in week 1. Of the past 4 Super Bowl winners, which one team, only one team did not cover their week 1 spread the following year? Is it A, the Kansas City Chiefs laying 4.5 against Houston in 2020? Was it B, the New England Patriots laying 5.5 against Pittsburgh in 2019? C, the Philadelphia Eagles pick 'em versus Atlanta in 2018? Or, God, this is annoying, the Patriots once again laying 8 against Kansas City in 2017? Who did not cover the spread?
It's kind of sad that I almost remember all these games and maybe what I bet on them. I'm gonna go the Patriots laying 8 to the Chiefs in 2017.
You are correct. Yes, I remember every side I was on. Eagles obviously took over Atlanta. I'm pretty sure I had the Patriots against Pittsburgh in 2019. Got cute with Houston in 2020, but again, you nailed it. And they didn't cover because they lost outright. They lost 42-27. That was a crazy game. That was the first of, is Tom Brady washed up? Is it the end for Tom Brady? Where we had to keep hearing that narrative. And now we're going to have to hear it for the next 20 years or until whatever Brady decides to retire and pursue.
I think was that the Kareem Hunt blow up game too? I think his first game on the scene.
That might have been. Yeah. I'm trying to remember. I just know the Chiefs kind of surprised them up in New England. And that's funny too, because I feel like another one of the Brady washed up games came in Kansas City, maybe similar time period, like before they won those next couple. Oh God, Tom Brady's annoying. One day he'll retire and pursue his true love, his son. All right, Dan, your category, bottom feeders. Which of these NBA teams has only been favored once at home this season and only twice overall? Only been favored twice in the NBA season and only once at home. Is it A, the Pistons, B, the Thunder, C, the Timberwolves, or D, the Cavaliers?
Ooh, man, the Cavaliers, they started out pretty good. I'm going to go with the Minnesota Timberwolves because they're like the worst team in the league right now.
Oh no, unfortunately it's the Oklahoma City Thunder. They've only been favorites twice, 1-0-1 against the spread. So technically they are the best team to bet on as favorites, even though it's not going to happen much. All right, here it is. Wild card, bitches! Yeah! That's right. Wild card round, totally random questions where you decide how much you're going to wager. And are you going to hedge or? John, you're up. How much are you going to risk on this next question? You have 10 units. However, like a local bookie, we offer a line of credit so you can wager more than 10 units. What are you going to put on this question?
I think I'll go 20 on the wild card.
All right. 20 units up for grabs here. Oh, this one's an interesting one. Golfer Kevin Na holds the infamous record of the most strokes on a par 4 in a PGA tournament. His number of strokes on that hole is equal to the number of years when Americans are legally allowed to do what? A, drink, B, vote, C, drive, D, run for Congress. Quick sidebar though, when I golf, I max out at double the par. So I would have taken an 8, which is clearly not the correct answer here. At some point you just got to move on. Kevin Na doesn't have to worry about the group behind him, asking to play through. So is it drink, vote, drive, run for Congress? That age coincides with what Kevin Na score? Most strokes on a par 4.
Man. I think I'm just going to cross out Congress. I think I can eliminate that one.
Yeah, I don't even know what that is, but I think it's like 30.
Drive, I've definitely probably recorded a 21 on a hole, but I don't think he did. I'm going to go
Well, drive is actually 16.
Oh,
John.
wait, sorry.
I don't know.
No, drink is 21.
Drink's 21.
We're in the U.S., right? Okay,
yes.
All right. Okay, so drive is 16. I think I'm gonna go with 16 on a par 4.
Oh, and he nails it for 20 points, bringing you up to 30. All right, Dan, moving over to you. Again, 0 units you've earned so far, but again, not a problem. We offer a line of credit. Even though you're new to the network still, you're good for it. How many units are you willing to risk for this wild card question?
Give me 20 units. I got to get competitive here.
All right.
Get back in the game.
Getting laying 20 units here for this wild card question on Jeopardy. Alex Trebek asked for the nickname that Joel Embiid trademarked, which also described the Sixers draft strategy. Now we all know that as the process. Unfortunately, none of the nerds answered correctly. However, one nerd did venture a guess, and Embiid embraced the incorrect answer as a new nickname on Twitter and is now listed on his basketball reference page. What is that nickname? Is it A, Joel Do a 180 Embiid, B, Joel the Progress Embiid, C, Joel Jam It Through Embiid, D, Joel the Bombardment Embiid? What was the incorrect Jeopardy answer, which Joel embraced?
Oh man, can you run those back? Cause like I got lost in bombardment. Damn.
Do a 180, the Progress, Jam It Through, the Bombardment. Which was the nerd's incorrect guess?
Okay, I'm gonna go with the 180.
Your man who knows his Sixers and the NBA, Joel Do a 180 Embiid, joins his other prestigious nicknames of JoJo, obviously the process, and his current favorite, Troll L Embiid, or I don't know. Is it Troll or just Troel?
Yeah, probably Troel. Yeah, it's probably Troel.
All right,
add a little flair to it.
Exactly. Classic Embiid style. Round 1 is done. Let's take a look at the scores. John out in front with 30 units, but New Kid on the Block, Dan nipping at his heels with 20 units. All right, let's see how you did on this past week's picks. Dan, what were your best bets for this past week?
So I had 20 units on Nikola Jokic, over 25.5 points. And then I had Steph Curry, 20 units over 28.5 points. And then finally, I had 20 units on Pascal Siakam over 4.5 assists.
I think this is unprecedented.
Oh my God.
You hit all your bets with putting it together for a whopping 113 units. Add it to the units you got in round 1. You're sitting at 133, or maybe I added that. Yeah, that's right. 133. McKee,
come on, McKee. Give me my
McKee
point.
in the chat gave you the wrong answer, so I got to throw him under the bus. All right, John, what were the bets you gave out this past week?
I'd just like to say I'm probably a pretty live dog right now.
For those live betting this fictional game show.
So I put 20 units on the Warriors to cover 5.5 against the Magic last week. They did not cover. Had 20 units on Suns and the Pelicans over 230.5. That was a shootout that got to in the 240s. So that one hit. And then I took the underdog Thunder, who now I'm finding out is not the greatest bet to take, plus 10.5 against the Bucks. You know, the Bucks were coming in on a little cold streak, but they won by 13, so that didn't cover either. So I think I'm down 20 units or something like that.
Well, yeah, we don't actually. We're very generous with the grading system. We don't actually count your losses against you. So,
perfect.
You were able to win 38 units. Again, win is a generous call there. Added to your round 1 scores, you're sitting on 68 units, but you have a chance to get some extra units here with defend your bad beat or kind of a bad pick. John, you're on the clock. Defend your bad beats. A lot to pick from here. What are you going to go with?
Yeah, I mean, if I can remember correctly, I think the Warriors were going up against the Magic last Friday, and that was like, I think the Magic were probably on their 4th string point guard at that point. Couple, they've had a couple guys get hurt. Fultz is out. Then they had, I think Michael Carter Williams was lacing up. Frank Mason might have been their starter in that game. Pulled his groin like 2 minutes in. You think the Warriors are going to cover this? The Magic aren't even rolling out a guy who can handle the ball, and I guess Vooch just still destroyed the Warriors, and they didn't cover.
All right, that's it for your time. Now, Dan, we would put you on the clock, but fortunately for you, you got all your picks right. So we're just going to give it to John. Also, in full transparency, I did wager a decent amount of money on John before the show. So, John, congratulations on your 10 extra points. You are now a liver dog sitting at 78 points. Dan with a commanding 133 points. Okay, this is the moment everyone has been waiting for. It's time to take all the units you've won, and for the picks this weekend. All right, Dan, you're in the lead, so you'll go first. You have 133 units to spend. You don't have to put them all down, but again, if you don't bet a decent amount, people will make fun of you. Just so you know, this is a gambling show. We are DGens. 133. What are you betting on coming up in the next couple days?
So I'm looking at tomorrow, Orlando versus the Nets, and Orlando's on a 7-game winning streak, which I feel like I got to get on the action there. It scares me because they're playing against the Nets, but I have a feeling that the Nets are going to play down. I'm going to take the spread of that game, Orlando and the Nets, and I'm going to put 50 units on it. Okay.
Anything else you're getting down on?
I will also get down on the Sixers and the Mavs. Now, my Sixers 13-2 at home versus the Mavs 7-7 on the road. I'm leaning for my boys. I'm gonna take the Sixers. I'm gonna take the Sixers spread when that drops, and right. I'm also gonna take the over of that game as well.
Okay, and what you're putting 50 units on each there, or what are we talking?
I'm gonna put 7.
So you have 83 left.
83 units on the Sixers over and covering.
Okay, are we parlaying that, or are those two individual bets? What do we?
Two individual bets.
Okay, so we'll call it 42 on the Sixers laying whatever the number is, 41 on the over as well. All right, John, he laid out basically three even money bets. So maybe you got to get creative here. You are sitting on 78 units. What do you got for us?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go with a little parlay action here on some NBA tomorrow night. I did like the Sixer angle, so I'm going to have to, go against that here and not take them. So I'm going to bet against the Bucks again, with a pretty healthy underdog here with the Pelicans. It looks like the spread's 9, so I'm sure they're going to be, plus 200 or something on the money line. So I'm going to go Pelicans money line.
Ooh.
And then I'm going to parlay that with the over in the Nets Magic game. I don't think the Nets can hold anybody under 120. So I think over 226 looks pretty good there. So I don't know, whatever that'll equal, but we'll put, let's see, how many units do I have? 68?
78.
78. Okay. So I'll put, we'll put 30 units on that parlay. Pelicans money line and Magic Nets over. And then that leaves me with 40. And I'm just going to do a small underdog money line. It's just going to be some plus odds here with the Kings over the Knicks tomorrow night. I freaking love Tyrese Halliburton. He's on a roll right now. And I think, he's going to go to work against the Knicks guards tomorrow night and Fox too. So, looks like they'll just be small dogs. Maybe even just even bet, but put 40 units on that.
All right. Love it. Bet. Fading the Knicks. You could do much worse. All right, guys, that'll do it for Let It Ride. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel so you never miss an episode. Check out sportsgamblingpodcast.com for all our analysis picks. And Jon Jackson, whenever he returns from his writing retreat and gets back on the site, make sure you subscribe to the NBA Gambling Podcast, where you'll hear Dan hosting a bunch of episodes for us. For Let It Ride, this is Sean Green reminding you to help control the betting public. Have your DGens spayed or neutered.
You don't have a problem, no need to feel lonely. Everyone is family when it's D-Gens only. Making picks to get you off the schneid. It's time to laugh.